What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday. Let's dive into this topic really quick. I have a big gripe with today's reality TV fans, and it's not new. I've spoken about it before. That's one of the things I have the toughest time with is the fans. I've adjusted to the changes to the actual show itself, or the shows themselves. But the new age fans are different. I gotta say, they're different. I don't know what people watch things for, but I like to be entertained because my actual life is very difficult. My actual life, my real life, my job is hard. My life situation and circumstances are hard at times. So when I throw on the TV, it's so that I can be entertained and temporarily relieved from my reality. So I don't understand why people get on to watch these things and are angrier about the shows and angrier about the people on those shows than they are about their real life. Now, when it comes to a scripted television show, the writers write the characters a certain way. This one is going to be a fan favorite. This one is going to be somebody people hate, etc., etc. And what happens is, if those actors play their roles very well, that's the way that it goes. People will look at that same person and not be able to see anything but the character. Like, there's certain TV characters, villains or heroes, that I look at them and I'm like, if I saw that person in real life, I would expect them to jump in front of a bus to save my life. Like, for an example, Tobey Maguire. I saw this video of him back in the day. Not back in the day, but I saw this video of him after he was retired from being Spider-Man. And I saw him like outside of his car yelling at people who were trying to take pictures of him, and it looked so weird to me because I was so used to him as Spider-Man. But my point of saying all of that, when somebody goes on a thing as real life, for instance, they'll say, okay, we're picking 20 people for this cast and y'all are going to compete for $500,000. So you're on a competition show. You're trying to win $500,000. That's your goal of being there. How some people do it is different than others. And what people view as integrity within those shows is extremely, extremely subjective. Because I don't know too many honest Abes who win these competition shows that are based on not just competition. It's not like sports where it's just, oh, I'm the better person than you. I competed better than you, so therefore I won the money. No, you have to play a political game. You have to deceive people. You have to be deceptive. Yes, some people have no lines. That is true. When I say no lines, I mean, look at a Johnny Bananas if you watch the challenge. Johnny Bananas basically says, there's no rules in this game. Like, I'll get in the game, I'll lie to my own mama to win the game. There's people like that. And those are villains, obviously. But even a Johnny Bananas, to tell you the truth, he did what he had to do to win, and he won 7 times. So it is what it is. He threw himself into that. But I wouldn't think that Johnny Bananas is going to do the same things to me in real life as what he would do to me on the show. And that's not even saying he wouldn't. I'm just saying you can be, I forget who said this, but one of the challengers said this. They were like, you can be a good person on the TV show, or you can appear to be a good person on the show and be like a tyrant in real life. Be You can look like a bad person on the show and be a good person in real life. Now, this is something that I don't like that fans do, especially on shows that are produced. On a Big Brother, I understand it a little bit more because we have a greater chance to actually see hours and hours of footage on the live feeds. So we have more to draw conclusions from on a Big Brother. On a show like The Challenge, we get 43 minutes, and we don't know how much conversation is squeezed into that, like 40 to 50 minutes. I don't know why I said 43 specifically, but we usually get somewhere between 40 to 50 minutes for these episodes. And we don't, there's some arguments that take place that were hours and hours and hours and hours and hours long in the house. And we see 2 minutes of the argument. We see maybe a snippet of the context of what it's about, and then maybe we see the end when it gets to its apex. And we've all had arguments with people in life where the arguments are really long and there's twists and turns and they're multifaceted, and if somebody were to come in and get like a little 2-minute snippet of the argument, they wouldn't understand the context. To me, the context matters. I would say in these houses, when they're not doing actual game activities and when they're not gaming, they're bored. They don't have anything to do. So the parts that are not entertaining is everybody sitting around talking about their lives. Talking about their families, talking about, whatever, randomness. And not everybody likes each other. Not everybody gets along. But the thing I don't like with the fans is that everybody that is the online fans of these shows tend to try to be the moral police. I've seen people do worse for less. I've seen people do things worse than what I've seen on these shows without 200,000, 300,000, a million, 750K on the line. So everybody is these perfect angels that are watching the show and waiting for any reason to just trash somebody. People even go the lengths of trying to call people's jobs and be like, hey, look at this. Look at this TV show footage. Do you want this person working for your company? It's too much. Hi, Tammy. It's too much. And I already felt this way, but now having spoken to people who have said they have experienced problems based off of this reality TV. They've experienced mental health problems. I feel like, man, why can't we just watch the show and let the show be the show? Let the people have their own beefs, I don't really want to hear too much about somebody's beef unless I can hear every piece of it, or at least hear a significant enough piece for me to jump to a conclusion. Because what happens is, we'll see a little bit of whatever happened in the house, and then somebody from the show who doesn't like that person will put out a cryptic tweet. Oh, the real version of this person is going to come out, blah, blah, blah. And then we don't know the story, but the fans are going to pick the side of whoever they like the most, or whoever they think is the most popular. And each season, the edit could change for you. Because I remember 2 seasons ago on the mainstay of the challenge, Olivia was everybody's hero when she made it to the finals with Horacio. That they had that golf ball malfunction thing, and the golf ball swung and broke her nose, and she had to get reconstructive surgery, and everybody wanted to see her come back. She came back the next season, and then because she didn't vote the way that Nerys wanted her to vote, all of a sudden she's everybody's villain. Now, I don't know. I didn't necessarily like that either when she went against Nerys. I didn't necessarily like that either, but at the same time, people were like, oh, she's a terrible person. I hope she never comes back on the show. She's a horrible friend. The only person who can basically speak on her as a friend or how she is as a friend is somebody who actually knows her in real life. If she has betrayed you, if you know her personally in life and she has actually betrayed you in life, yeah, you can speak on that. Like a Nerys is saying what she's saying, and she has a right to say whatever she has to say, and Olivia has a right to say whatever she has to say. Some of their info is conflicting, but those are two parties that are directly involved. What is our involvement as a fan? Or if you are really a fan? If you're really a fan, I feel like some people who watch these shows now are not even actually fans of the show. They just watch the show looking for the villain. This is the person that I'm going to dump on. This is the person that I'm going to dedicate all my time tweeting about, talking about, slandering. A lot of it is slander. I consider that slander if you don't actually know. And you're like, oh, such and such reputable gossip site said this and this happened in the house. Well, where did the gossip site get it from? The source? Did one of the parties that were involved in it give it to the gossip site and then the gossip site put it out? Maybe it was another castmate that wasn't involved looking for some clout, or maybe they weren't looking for some clout. When you jump in and you're watching two people debate something, hi everybody, hi Ed, hi Colleen, hi May, hi Tammy. If you jump in the midst of somebody's argument and they're debating something and you jump in the middle, you're going to be confused. You have your version of it that you remember. Then, if you are actually one of the two parties that is arguing, you're mad. So, if you're in the midst of this heated debate and you're both angry, you're not going to accurately remember what exactly was being said. So sometimes I've seen two parties, one says something and one says something else. They might not remember exact wording, or they might not remember it exactly how it was. And then one person says the other person is lying, but they're arguing over the small details that aren't remembered. Like in an All-Stars case, this was taped like almost a year and a half ago was the filming of this. And we are recollecting and rehashing things from 16, 17 months ago. How well are you going to remember that? I know I wouldn't. I can remember like core pieces of something. I can remember how something made me feel. But unless I'm sitting there with the video, I'm not going to remember the beginning, middle, and end of everything. Please. Yeah, but people run with everything. That's what I don't like. People just run with it. People take what they saw and heard and they'll run with it. Whether they know it's true or not, they run with it. And I don't like that. Like I said, I like watching these shows as a break from my real life, as a break from the things that I'm going through in my real life. But the fandom makes it hard sometimes to follow these things. I would be disengaged with the fandom if it wasn't for my page. I keep going with it just because of my page, because it's something I like to do, and it's also something I feel like is a responsibility of mine. I feel like I would classify myself as a responsible vlogger. And what I mean by that is, I don't put out anything with certainty unless I know with certainty whether it's true or not. So I saw a lot of bloggers who just wanted the content, popular bloggers too, that have way more popular channels than mine, a lot of subscribers, instantly put out information from sources that are not reputable. But I mean, that's not surprising. The same thing happens in the media, mainstream media, but it's disappointing. It's the reason why I don't follow so many vlogger channels for reality TV anymore. There's only so few that I'm really behind like that. And there's no problem with having varying opinions, Ed. But imagine me taking something and speaking about it as if it's a fact. Like, if I heard a story about your life, Ed, and there was somebody who was mad at you about something that they said that you did, and I only heard their side, and then I started making vlogs and I was like, Ed is trash because Ed said this and Ed did that, Ed ruined this person's life, Ed should be canceled, I want him to get fired from his job. Is that me just having an opinion? Or is that me being toxic? Because I think there's a difference between just looking at something and having an opinion versus being toxic and just contributing to smear campaigns. So that's my little rant. Let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. I hope everybody has a great weekend and talk to y'all again soon.